is Deadpool and Wolverine the best movie of 2024? So on Tuesday I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, and today I'll tell you what I think of it. But before I do, I have to say this video can contain spoilers to everything that happens in this movie. So, spoiler alert. Anyways, let's begin with all of the positives because I do have quite a lot. The intro sequence was really funny and also had some cool action. On that note, the jokes were quite funny for the most time. I mean, obviously there were some that didn't make me laugh, but there were enough that did. Like where Deadpool uses the same sentence The Rock did for Black Adam. If you thought that this movie will be more family friendly because Disney owns Fox now, well, you thought wrong. There's tons of swearing and lots of bloody gore, which I don't personally need to see, but it would be weird if a Deadpool movie wouldn't have that, so I'd weigh that as a positive. The dynamic Deadpool and Wolverine had was pretty funny as well, because Wolverine could kind of cut off Ryan Reynolds, so that he doesn't just keep talking endlessly, because that can get annoying. The ending was also quite cool with Deadpool and Wolverine fighting all of the variants of Deadpool, and the gag we get with Nicepool being dragged around was pretty funny. The cameos were really funny. I mean, how they teaser Chris Evans as being Captain America, but then you see he's Johnny Storm from the pretty bad Fantastic Four movie. That was really hilarious. And seeing Wesley Snipes as Blade once again was unexpected for me, but overall the cameos weren't that important for the story. They were more just helpers to overcome obstacles. And if you want to help me overcome my obstacle of 200 subscribers, please subscribe. I mean, 99.9% of you are not subscribed. The CGI was fine, I mean it didn't bother me, but it wasn't great, which leads me to my negatives. Unfortunately, this movie is not perfect, it's actually quite the opposite. There are some big problems I have with this movie. And my biggest is probably the story and its plot holes. I mean, let's just start with the anchor being. Sure, I get that it's more meant metaphorically that Wolverine was carrying the X-Men franchise and it couldn't survive without him, but if you just think about that in the logic of the movie, what was there before an anchor being was born? Like, didn't the X-Men exist then? Or like, why do Deadpool and Wolverine have to fight against Deadpool variants? As far as I remember, there wasn't any reason for them to fight. There are plenty of different examples in this movie where the longer you think about what's happening, the less sense it makes, which is kind of annoying, but I mean, if you just try to switch your brain off and just enjoy what's happening on the screen, you'll still have a lot of fun. The other problem I have with this movie though is that the characters aren't written really well, especially the bad guy. I mean, she was really one-dimensional and you couldn't really understand her motivation. Luckily though, they didn't have her in focus too much so that we could focus on the fun stuff like Deadpool and Wolverine. Also, I love the intro sequence, but after that the movie does slow down a bit. Anyways, I'd give this movie a 3.5 to 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it, but it's definitely not the best movie of this year. Click here to check out which movie I predict will make the most money this year.